statement though. Can you recap?
So I feel like you were talking about previously before that.
All right, can you repeat what you said? Maybe that was key him in, brother.
I was talking about like it ain't about nobody personal, how you feel, like how you think about it, like or your particular school or your particular camp. But it's about ain't about the doctrine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might keep the crescent moon. You might keep the black moon at the beginning of the month.
Yasharahla, figure out what he was saying.
Yeah. What was he saying?
He was saying that once you get everything set up with the judges and everything, in the gates, then you can debate on.
Yeah, well,
now will come into effect when you got these gates set up with judges, officers, and elders. And that's when you can counsel, and everybody can come together and counsel. And then everything got to stand off of this.
Right.
It can't be on your doctrine. Now you got to get that doctrine up.
Yeah, you got to.
So that's what
and you can't begin the
doctrine, but judgment among ourselves has to be based on the Torah.
No. What he's saying is that if you got a doctrine that's proven false from the councils getting together in your states and cities, you got to give it up. And then somebody gonna have to take spiritual responsibilities if you making a wrong decision by giving us something that you really feel is right. Because I think the Hebrews talks about that, and then in Hebrews it talks about how these people in Hebrews 13:17, obey them that have the rule over you. Let's check that out. Let's just start right there. Let's build on that. What do it mean when they say obey them that have the rule over you?
I'm gonna guess. Somebody that pretty much, I feel like anybody know more than you. Anybody?
was that 17?
No, this
it's submitting to the officers, judges, and elders within your gate. And the only
But not in.
What?
But not only them, all the other teachers too that got rule over you.
But yo,
because it's just not.
Bust this. But yo, check this out though. The teachers, being a teacher, don't automatically make you a ruler. You feel me? That's what a lot of brothers get twisted. They think because you teaching the scriptures to somebody, you automatically in a position of rulership and authority over a brother, and that ain't the case right there. You don't see that really being taught in the scriptures all like that. You might be a ruler in the sense of, in the real biblical sense, you a disciple of a man that's teaching you. And you roll with him, and you flow with him, and you been how he been. When you a real student and disciple. But that man don't tell you when to eat and drink and, use the bathroom. So brothers get taking a teaching position, that's your personal choice, but that teaching position don't got nothing to do with the national administration of our Yasharahla government.
Right, but the teacher positions within a structured gate should be appointed by those judges, officers, and elders.
Well,
but since we're starting from a not ground zero position, each center should be responsible for the teachers that they have teaching.
Right. Okay. Because you got different centers right now that have different doctrines on the new moon, different doctrines on Gentiles, different doctrines on Cornelius, right? Different doctrines on all of that stuff. But
me personally,
you live it up when that camera came on, right?
Ooh. Boy. I'm gonna leave that one alone. You got that one off.
I'm waiting.
All right.
My guard is down.
Okay.
My guard ain't up.
But the focus and purpose of the gates, of the centers within that gate, is to function in an operating capacity to help the people.
And that's the language used in the scripture.
Right. But I'm saying this is where the structure of the gate has to be put to the test. Do you have the midwives in position? Do you have the natural herb doctors in position? Do you have the educators in position? Secondary education, trade education. Do you have your commerce in position within your gate?
And it's kind of going off into what Elijah was saying over there. That brothers are so used to, I'm a teacher. And like that's it, you feel me? I'm a teacher. I can teach the Bible. I know the scripture's good. But then when it's time to circumcise, you know what I'm saying? When it's time to help a woman recover after her birth,
Right.
you feel me?
This
When
is
it's time
when
to do weapons training,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? When it's time to help somebody with
Plant a garden.
they Spanish or Portuguese, or plant your own food,
Right.
where the teachers at then? You feel
Right.
me?
But see, those are departments of government. Okay, and we're not going to get too specific, but what he's saying or demonstrates the capacity of that gate to operate in those departments.
So it's
You know, if you can't do that, then you really don't have an operating government.
so when he say, obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves. Now this is the part right here. It says, listen what he said. For they watch for your souls. So you taking a man's soul, you know what I'm saying, into consideration when you ruling. But you ruling according to the Tawrah. Then it says, as they that must give account. Going back to what Yasharahla was saying. Somebody watching over your soul, they're going to have to give account to the Most High for how this person is responding to that rulership. So everybody in the council say, hey, this is what we believe the scripture is saying. In other words, let's say they got their evidence and they say, well, this doctrine is off. And people are like, no, I don't know. But you can't prove your point. But the point is proving that doctrine is off. Even if you can't prove your point, and because you ain't got no documents or evidence to support what you're saying from the scriptures. I ain't talking about you going through a whole bunch of extracurricular library books or whatever. I'm talking about you going into the scriptures. If you can't prove your point to the scriptures, then your point needs to get taken off the table. You got to roll with the program.
Well, your point becomes your opinion. Your opinion doesn't run the table. It can't influence the table.
So he said that you got to submit to those that's ruling over you because they're watching for your soul, man. So this is a serious thing. That's why.
Break down that definition of submission. What it means to submit.
You break it down.
Back to you.
I know you have an idea. When they say wives submit to your husbands, what do that mean in your household?
She gonna submit. Either act of it. That's either or.
Either or.
That applies to the scripture. She got
Wait.
submit to Yahweh first, and then that's when she submits to me. By submitting to me, she submits to Yahweh.
You defining a word by using a word.
I know. I'm asking you
trying to say what okay. Submit basically going into submit is basically going off into like, you know what I mean? First of all, you gotta bring out the concordance and look up in the Ibaria and see how it's used in the Ibaria. But what is the model we see for a government structure? We see in the government structure, Yasharahla, your primary obligation to submit to a man was according to the Tawrah when you were going off. Not on what color shoes you need to wear, or what color socks can you wear, or whether you got to wear your beard long or wear your beard short. That goes into religion. But the submission is going off into, he's governing over me by the laws of the Most High. So now as a judge, as an officer, as an elder, I got to follow and do what he says to do. Period. End of the story. So if he say, Parazah, it's the Sabbath, you can't go to work today, I got to submit to that. If I don't submit to that, I'm evil. I'm wicked. Because he telling me what the Father have already said years ago. And if I go against that, I'm wrong. Flat out. But what's happening in Yasharahla is like, we got to get to that level because a lot of brothers don't want to start on the Sabbath violation because that's such a widespread offense that a lot of brothers are committing.
Talk about the evenings, what is evening and what is Sunday.
I mean, even with that, even by your definition of Shabbat, is it still being observed, you know, the right way? You know what I'm saying? The what? You know what I mean? So that's what I see submitted. Right now, so I see submitting to another man is different than submitting in your household. Because your wife ain't got to just submit according to the Bible, according to the laws. Your wife got to submit in everything. What color socks? If you want her not to wear black tights no more, she can't wear black tights. But you can't tell me that. But you can't tell me that as a man not to wear socks with my sandals or whatever. Even though it might look funny. You feel me? You can't say don't wear socks with your sandals, but you can tell your wife that or your son that because that's the first level of government. is your family, your household. That's the first. If you got total, you can't go outside the laws of the Most High and make them go against that. But you got that leeway, when the laws don't speak on it. You know what I'm saying?
There's a final word.
And then it comes to the community. Now that community might have certain standards, but them standards can't become laws because that's how religion gets started. And when you push a man-made religion.
Now, can that ruler come in your household? Because you're submitting to him, but it has to be based off of law. Can that ruler come in your household and
do what?
Change
change your authority? Because your authority is over here, so
I understand, like come in your household like what?
Like how Nathan Yalla is the elder, he can come in and just tell you, no, powers out, you got to run your house this way and that way. You can't.
According to the law, not according to his opinion, yeah. Now his opinion, he gonna say, yo, powers out, man. You can't have your children over here. You can't have your children over here kindling fires on the Sabbath. But you can't have your children over here doing their own pleasure. You can't have your children working on the Shabbat. Or your manservants, because he enforcing the law upon me. That's his job as a Zaquan, is to rule over this community. When it comes to that matter, even in my house. Because the earth is your house and the fullness thereof. And all that live therein. You feel me? So he can rule me in my house when I'm going off in the laws. But the difference is that right now, in ancient Israel, he can come like, yo, this brother keep going off. You know what I'm saying? He keep dressing like a woman. Parazai, we'll have to whoop you, man. We have to do something. You got to have some type of penalty for doing that wrong. And that's the level we got to go to next. Is what's the standard, and what happens if you violate that standard? You feel me? So yes, to answer your question, you can come into play.
Only by law.
So like,
by the law, not
other stuff.
But he's saying like you can't just come in and be like, yeah, I want you to wear blue socks. Like, nah, don't talk to her like that. You ain't supposed to be around.
Yeah.
That's different.
You like tell your wife, yo, come in and make me a something. That's the overstepping your authority.
Yeah, as a man, yeah.
Man.
As a man, you can't go.
Oh man.
You can't go and get no other man wife, no orders on. That's the thing is some people do that though. Some people are part of organizations. And I talk to people personally that's part of people that's trying to take people's, take legal custody of other people's children.
Really?
Wow. Word.
In Israel?
In Israel. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Not nobody that we roll with, but in other branches of Yasharahla nationality, brothers, people trying to have people's children be up under them and sign their children over to them and stuff like that.
Under...
I don't know what the premise is. I don't know.
I mean, it could be.
Man.
Okay, but I'm just saying it could be for good intentions, or
I don't know. I don't see no good intentions in me trying to get 5, 6. Unless you try to do something like, okay, we living together. I'm gonna adopt the children, and then we gonna. You feel me? Maybe. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, definitely you need particulars on that.
Yeah, or I'm gonna give you my children so that you're gonna help take care of, and then something like that. But you trying to like. All I'm saying, man, I wasn't really. All I know is that you got Israelite brothers that's thinking that part of their government obligation to submit to somebody roll over into their personal life. That don't have nothing to do with the Torah, the Torah. You know what I'm saying?
But I think what has to happen, as men become part of the gate and understand the responsibilities within the gate, and whatever department that they're operating in within that gate, because some of us might have multiple hats to work in different departments. Now that's when we got to start, those that have families, to get their families acclimated to that structure. In other words, we're going to have to include our women and children in what we're doing in some capacity. Or it's going to be like, you're doing your thing and she's basically still trying to maintain a house within a worldly structure, and it ain't going to work too well. There's going to be clashes at times.
Right.
But that comes with better, as the gate becomes better organized, the centers become better organized, and we can put women in those capacities, like midwives, like nurses, like teachers, like daycares. You know what I'm saying? All that works within that gate's ability. And then the benefit is when the gate is helping the members within their boundaries access these facilities.
All right, listen.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Let's look at that alone, man. Let's look at the fact that if Yasharahla had their center, all the children within these gates
Went to this.
went to this particular facility for daycare. You get educated. It's benefiting the government, benefiting the person that's working at it. The children get educated in the Most High and the laws and everything. And
Right. So it's a
and you get that Title 22 if you're doing Title 20 money.
get it how you can get it.
You know what I'm saying? So
You get it how you can get it.
But it also provides the opportunity for not only the children but for the families too,
And the women.
because in those separate centers and things like that, the women can be involved, whether it be in the preparation of the center itself, the food, the care of the children. Jobs are available now as well as opportunities for
Right.
the children to learn.
And the one thing that the gate has to be responsible for as a government is that now it's teaching the children who are their people. Like, who are their brothers? Who are their sisters? Everybody's going to this one center believes in the same thing because they come from the same household. That's a win-win right there. Now, if we get outside children to come to our center, they too are going to be acclimated the way our children are. So that's just bringing more emphasis of what Yasharahla stands for from the children's point of view. Okay, now it just expands to the other areas. So it's a win-win.
But just like you were saying, we have to involve the women in what we're doing. Right now, the reason why they're not involved in what we're doing, we was just talking about that in the car, is because brothers don't always know how to involve your women in what we're doing, knowing the truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we haven't been brought up that way, but having that type of access to a center like that would bring confidence back to, us as a nation, because right now Esau doing everything. You don't have a job, Esau give you unemployment. You ain't got daycare, Esau give you Title 20. You ain't got rent money, don't worry about it, we got Section 8. You know what I'm saying? Now if we're doing that,
If we're doing all those things you just mentioned now,
exactly.
we're